YouTube channel if you need. So
Excellent. Thank you, Lee.
you're welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. And especially after we do these statistics and we do these hypotheses and we verify our results, a big portion, an important portion of what this life cycle entails is how do we convey this to a non-technical audience? How do we talk about these things in a way that somebody who doesn't know about data, somebody who perhaps hasn't even taken a college course on data, they'll be able to understand the impact of what we're trying to convey. And finally, which is perhaps the most important part, and this is, again, not something you would get in the classroom, what is the process when we collect this data, especially from the experiment? What is the process that we're trying to tie to the data? In other words, what are we trying to describe, right? That's really what the cycle is about. And here it is. This is actually the way we would go about doing this. First, we collect it. First, we set up the tools and the instruments in order to get the data. Then we have to clean it. We have to explore it, and we have to look at it through a statistical lens. And if the data enables us to do so, we begin to model and we begin to interpret it. So I'm going to go and hand it off to Armando so that he can talk about how we intend to do this within the framework of a competition.
Right. So more than just talking about the life cycle process, we want you to be able to implement every single step out of it. Not only with pre-processed data, as we talked about, but only with real data that you will have to think about, wrangle yourself and clean yourself. So for this, we decided to go into the Mission to Mars hackathon by AWS. Now, to be clear, this competition has nothing to do with space exploration. This is just an acronym for the main categories of the competition: machine learning, AI, and robotics. So Amazon is pretty much giving us a free range of tools and resources for our own problem to solve. So there's no specific data set in the main competition. So we've gone ahead and designed a whole path for you to pursue a solution. So we already have a data set in mind that they would like us to pursue. It's called the box of stock data set. It's a security log data set that focuses on attacks to cloud services, for example, AWS. So that's why they would be very interested in knowing more about what we can do with this data. Now, again, you'll learn a lot about big data resources, how to clean data, how to pull that data, how to build an architecture underlying your model, build the model, automate the training for the model, and at the end, visualize your findings in a simple way for even the simple an executive to understand, basically. So this has over 65,000 in cash prizes, and it has the opportunity for you to present both to industry experts and Amazon executives as well. So it's a big competition. We have our expectations high for it. We're still figuring out some details regarding teams, but we'll get to you once we all the details are set.
So something that I want to stress is that you may be looking at this data set, and especially for those of you who are not necessarily in IT, and you may be asking yourself, well, how does this relate to? How can I relate to this? What skills from doing something like this can I transfer to other aspects of my field? But as I was saying, this process, despite the domain being different, the skills that this process entails can be applied to the field that you're speaking about. Because again, as I was saying, what we're looking at is the experiment. In other words, the conditions under which this data set emerged, right? And whether you're in psych, whether you're in business, whether you're in physics, this is something that you can approach from that perspective.
Right. Many of you guys have probably had like remote classes due to the current COVID situation, and you'll notice it's the same with the clubs. But we still want you as members to easily communicate with each other, especially when taking part in a competition. So you may, like in that case, you would be working with new tools or data sets, or you need to have a lot of back and forth when collaborating with other people in your group. So Discord will be serving as our communication channel. And I was going to send a link to Teams. I don't see the chat function available. I don't know if you do, Anders, if you can take the link that's on the slide and stick it into the chat for Teams. If not, we'll be sure to send up a follow-up email with the link for you to join. But yeah, on Discord, there's an informational section with competition details that we'll be updating, as well as general announcements. Myself and the other officers will be active there, so we definitely encourage you to communicate with others and message us with any questions you have along the line on Discord. You can also check out a channel that we have called Ask the President, where you can post any questions directly to Anders, our co-president. So there are lots of resources and people available on Discord.
Okay, everyone. So for at least this competition, we are going to split up into groups. The initial way we're going to break you guys up is into 2 or 3 big teams, just because processing this data and then extracting it from where we need to is going to be a process. Once we get that past that step, if we feel like we can split you guys up more, we'll do that. But at least I think for right now, we're going to have the 3 or 2 big teams, and they're going to be equally talented. So it's not just me, all beginners or all advanced, just because I want the beginners to learn from the advanced. And then, if anything, if you are more advanced, you're able to teach others and potentially learn more that way. But we're going to break up each of these like general meetings into like a waterfall process. So like the first step would be like data extraction. The next one would be analysis. Another one would be visualization. So it's going to kind of follow that pattern. I'm going to develop the schedule hopefully this weekend, and I'll send that out through Canvas so you guys can follow along with that. Something I also want to emphasize is that the data set that we are working on, it is cybersecurity related. And for some of these topics, not many of us will be able to understand. So it is important to keep in contact with our advisor for this organization, Professor Clinton Daniel. Very good man. He can help you with anything, really smart. So it's important to just ask him questions about what you're looking at, like, is there a better way to interpret this? And then just a quick little to-do steps. The server that Tatiana just mentioned, Discord, I'll send a message there. And then I would like you guys to send me like an individual message stating what your current skill sets are, or at least what your interests are in this competition. Let's say if you want to do more visualization aspect, or if you want to be part of like the ETL process, or if you want to be developing algorithms or structures, anything you want from either this competition or the club, just let me know. And then just to constantly look out for that schedule and make sure you're up to date with what's going to happen. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Zoe.
Okay, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we do have an Instagram. So go ahead and follow that. I'll be posting not only updates for our next meetings, but also different information related to data science that I'm sure you will all be interested in. So make sure to follow that. Thank you, guys.
So certainly we have structures in place to help us succeed. Not necessarily, obviously, it would be nice to win and get $60,000. But even if we don't win, to succeed in learning something new, which is one of the primary reasons this organization was begun. So for the next 30 minutes or so, I just wanted to open the floor up for any questions you guys may have. I know that Zoe is very interested in polling the members in terms of what you guys want to learn specifically. And I know some of you coming from different fields have specific things in mind. So I just wanted to open up the floor for that.